Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Matt Elms, Director of New Product Development here at Cannacraft. Welcome to headquarters. Let me show you around. Cannacraft was founded in 2014 around a patient-focused brand, Care by Design. Since then, we've expanded to multiple other brands, like Absolute Extracts, our edible line, Satori Chocolates, and Hi-Fi Hops. Let's go check out the bottling line. So here's where the magic happens. Here's the bottling room where we make all our Hi-Fi beverages and keep sodas. Each of these guys right here holds 1,000 gallons of beverage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 gallons of beverages we hold at one time. Here's our new state-of-the-art system. This thing has huge throughput, making thousands of bottles an hour. As a vertically integrated company, we source cannabis plant matter from all over the state, and then extract the oil from that cannabis right here in our lab. That oil ends up in all of our products, whether it be soft gels, droppers, edibles, or your vapes. We do it all right here in the facility. So here's our extraction room, where we have 25 supercritical CO2 extractors running almost 24/7 to provide all the cannabis oil in our products. Let's check in with one of our co-founders who's going to tell you more.
Yeah, so these are our supercritical CO2 extractors. We've just started a new process with these extractors. We reconfigured them and we're able to do really sub-zero extractions with CO2 right now, meaning that we take the temperature all the way down to -30 and then extract the terpenes and cannabinoids at really low temperatures. And so it's really preserving the terpenes. You might even think of it really close to like a live resin that you would get with hydrocarbon extraction. All right, here we are in the fusion lab. As you can see, doing a lot of different things with the chocolates over here for Satori. Over here, we're doing soft gels for Care by Design. We're doing sublingual drops over in the corner. And then we're starting to formulate some of the products over here on this side. Over here, we got the VTA. We're making distillate. You can see the oil's coming down on the inside of the glass. We're separating it. The THC is going to this side. Some of the waste product is going this way. It's chlorophyll and waxes.
All right, thanks, Dennis. Thanks for checking out a little bit of what we do here at Cannacraft. There's obviously way too much to see for a virtual tour, so you'll have to come out sometime to get the full experience.
Cool. All right, welcome to another episode of Doobie Nights Live. I'm Charlie, one of the Doobie Nights partners, here with our special guests at Cannacraft today, Justin and Bobby. Say what's up, guys.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Nice to be here. Thanks for having us.
Fam.
And what are your titles?
I'm a founding partner. It's my only title these days.
Got it.
Just kind of got out of various titles over the last 6 years, and we have very capable people in all departments. So I got to kind of like just be a founding partner and help out where I can.
Yeah. I know how you feel on that one.
Yeah.
What about you, Bobby? What do you call yourself?
Director of Special Ops.
Director of Special Ops.
That was a fun one coming up with that
Yeah, we
title. We're
meshed
like,
it
what
up.
exactly are we doing here?
You guys
very
are definitely
appropriate.
special teams.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been just moving around where needed. Big part that I did coming on was help build the Southern California team and kind of break into the Southern California market. So I've been down in San Diego for about 20 years, half Northern California, half San Diego. So just kind of plugged in down there. We all kind of built an amazing sales team down there.
Yeah. How's it different down there than up here?
Oh man, night and day. Could be different countries.
Yeah. But for like the cannabis sales and stuff and trying to build a Northern California
Yeah, we've
town,
been
SoCal.
such a Northern California based brand, and really I think in the beginning it was more bandwidth than anything. Thank you, sir. Just focusing, we were pretty well known up here, and down south it was.
Thank you.
People didn't even know that Cannacraft was a house of brands. They thought, all these different brands were different things, and ABX at a certain time was just kind of just another vape cart. So a big thing that me and Justin especially would do is go down there and just kind of tell the story organically, cruise around in the van, talk to bud tenders,
Lots of
take
events.
people out to dinners, events. We had a good time with it.
Yeah. How long ago did you guys start doing that down there?
Was that 3 years ago? 2 years ago? 2.5 years?
Yeah, it's probably almost more like 3 now.
Yeah.
Closer to 3 that we really when Bill Silver came on as our CEO, you know, we were looking at everything, and we just couldn't break in down in Southern California. We had a lot of sales reps down there. We kind of had things going on, but sales were just not doing it. It's just a whole nother beast. So we started focusing down there, and I was going down there all the time, and you know, go to Bobby's house. And Bobby's been with us from the beginning, but it was always just helping us out. You know, I was like, oh, this is rad. He's always been into cannabis and you know, super connected. So eventually I was like, bro, you got to help me. He was seeing the stress, and you know, we couldn't really keep track of you know, who was working and who wasn't, and these types of things. And so Bobby's like, all right, I got this.
Yeah, I was down there too, and it was like, it's embarrassing, man. I want to be like, hey guys.
Yeah.
So
these are my peeps, and it was not going well.
But yeah, we have a great team down there.
And now sales are awesome, right?
Yeah, continually growing. It's really booming down there. You know, a lot of new shops opening up, and older shops are really taking hold, like that have been around for a long time. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's maturing. It's a maturing market. Like 3 years ago, it was totally. I mean, it was just high potency distillate pens, and like people didn't have the cannabis education that they have up here.
Right.
And so that was a big part that we would do. It's kind of trying to educate people on, you know, back then it was like terpenes were kind of a new term, you know. So
Yeah, we try to keep it hyper local at Doobie Nights, and we focus on local vendors. I mean, but NorCal is always like the heart of the ganja. So like down south, I know that a lot of those reps started to come up and put their stuff on their shelves, but we're hesitant because we want to keep stuff here. But is Northern California just as cool to the Southern California people as it is up here to ourselves, or SoCal people like try to stick with SoCal stuff?
I think that's kind of changed over time. There was almost this, you know, rivalry, whether it was sports or whatever. But I mean, let's be honest, Northern California wins when it comes to growing weed, especially outdoor. You know, we just have the better climate for it. People are doing great things with indoor down there. In Central Cal, I know obviously people are growing good weed down there, but at the end of the day, I think, you know, over time, it's just like everyone kind of united. It's like California weed, you know, and mutual respect, you know.
Yeah, cool.
So I think that's kind of changed or changing still. And, you know, for us, we were going down there and we were just making ourselves available. We were showing up to all the things, and, you know, we had a good thing going with Green Street Agency, and eventually they were Hall of Flowers. So we were kind of, you know, became friends with those guys early on, and they did a lot with their agency, more as the building itself. They were in this place called the Desmond Building in Hollywood, and we had a little activation in their space, and it was just kind of a joint space for all the brands to be there, and they would talk really highly of us. We met a ton of other founders of brands, and you know, cultivators, and just all people from all over the industry through that place, and I think that helped us a lot.
Yeah, big time.
I think that's where some credit is definitely due there, that Joshua and Rama at Green Street and their whole team really like was pointing at us going, these guys got their shit going on. And it was cool because they came up for maybe a High Times or something the first time they ever came up, and we had known them for quite some time. They knew we were making sales and whatnot, but when they showed up to our place, they were like, kidding me, bro?
Wait, you dipshits?
Are we cussing? They're like, what the fuck? Like, they're walking through, they're seeing 27 extractors and all this production going on, this nice building, and we have a full party going down. We got sushi going on, and we threw like a big party and kind of went we leaned into this party because, you know, everybody was in town. They were like, we thought you dipshits were like in a warehouse or something, like doing this thing. We had no idea. So it's kind of like, that's kind of how we've approached it. We didn't really go down and, you know, say, oh, how big we are or any of this type of stuff. We just kind of like organically met people and became true friends with them. And then those are the kind of people we want to work with, you know. 'Cause sometimes in this industry, they hear Cannacraft and, you know, people start kind of going, oh, you know, so they think of us as like the big dogs, you know, and you know, we're not that, you know, in a sense of like, we just feel like small farmers. We're all Mendo boys, you know, and have been cultivating cannabis and relationships within cannabis for a long time. And so, you know, we kind of still feel like, man, the big guys are out there. Those are the ones that we're like, you know, battling against, I guess in a competitive sort of a way, but
people are scared to lose the culture. With a big corporate, big money comes in, the culture can, suffer, which is one of the most important parts of this whole industry.
Yeah, how are we keeping it real?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, is there I know it's, fighting those guys and make sure you retain the relationships and the shelf space and everything like that, but is there anything else that we can do?
That was a big thing in that era. It was like the launch of the pay-to-play shelf space thing.
Yeah.
And so then it became more, the shops weren't bringing in the brands that the customers liked. They were more bringing in the brands that would pay for the shelf. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of, at first we would refuse. It just doesn't seem like a partnership. But then we had to play the game to get on the shelf. So then we're kind of juggling all that and figuring this thing out. And with our house of brands, we have one shelf that we're paying for. It looks like a flea market on there, so trying to figure that out. So it was challenging to break into SoCal for sure.
Yeah, and having so many brands, and Care by Design is very much like, medicinal look and feel, and we were doing so many things for, in our compassion program, giving away tons of product to families in need. And so it was really hard to have like an identity, and a lot of our, competitors, they're out there, and you kind of knew what they were. We had Ep.6, Care by Design, then all these sub brands of those things, and then Satori came on, and we did the hi-fi thing. So it was just like when we're down there, people are like, wait, who are you guys? And I'm like, just drink this. Here, have this. We're just us. I don't know. So it was like, brand identity was a little hard for us. Yeah. But I think it kind of worked out in the long run, because we didn't really get pigeonholed into like, oh, this is kind of like a hippie brand or a hip hop brand or a whatever. We didn't really have this like thing around us. We could kind of like, swim around in the waters and kind of like get in wherever we fit in. Yeah. If it was an event that was more around medicinal cannabis, we were there. And if it was a lit event where we, were getting down and everybody was just enjoying cannabis, we're definitely there on that one too. So.
What was the last one like that?
A getting lit one? Well, we had a good one for Emerald Cup down in Hollywood. That was fun.
Yeah, tell me how that went. I wanted to go. I missed it.
How much can we speak on that?
I mean, we can edit, right?
So just what we like to do, with any types of events, we like to get everybody together, and this time it was different because we were going to be down in Southern California. It was virtual, we never entered any stuff into Emerald Cup ever. In fact, we didn't enter into a lot of competitions, high times, things like that, because a lot of times, we were sponsoring it. They would always hit us up, and we wanted to be a part of whatever, and make sure these events continued. And we knew how important sponsorship was, so we felt like it was almost a lose-lose, because everyone who didn't win would be like, "Oh yeah, all the sponsors win," and they weren't always wrong. Not at Emerald Cup per se, but events, sometimes the events.
But this time you guys got some awards.
This time we took 8 awards. So we entered some stuff in, and so now we were getting to go down like, going.
We weren't paying for the party this time. We were actually just partying at the party. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and they're like, you guys should come down. So we kind of had an idea. We didn't know what category or what, but we were like, hey, if we're all going down, let's get a hotel, and we have some connections. A friend of ours has a friend who has a really nice hotel in Hollywood, so we're like, call up all the homies, everybody from Emerald Cup and all the Southern California friends, like, hey, stay at this hotel, here's the code, and just bring everybody there. And the hotel was really like accommodating.
That poor hotel though.
Yeah, they
when we first walked in, they were just kind of like, hey guys, can you keep it down? No smoking. And then like within 3 or 4 hours, they're like, whatever, it's your hotel.
Hey, they had fair warning. I was like, we're squirrely, and people are going to be smoking. They're like, that's fine, that's cool. They got a little more than they bargained for, just because,
and everyone was smoking weed like in the hotel and all that. So
not in the hotel,
we had full sound systems going on in the rooms with lasers, like a full nightclubs.
But rooftop wise, outdoors. We didn't want to disrespect the rooms and do all the smoking stuff, too much. But it was more about bringing people together and. Feeding everybody and like actually enjoying our time. So we spent the whole weekend down there, and everybody got to like chill out throughout all like Friday night, all of Saturday, and the event wasn't until Sunday. So we all showed up to the event together, had a good old time, and got our awards, and
it was great.
Enjoyed our.
That's good.
It was the first time. Yeah, it was the first time anybody getting together since before COVID. Like
Yeah.
as far as like an industry party.
Yeah.
The last one was the MJ Biz one before that, so people were just ready to go.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was really
Big hugs
special
everywhere.
kind of thing. And
Yeah, we just had a cool
Overkill.
420 at our store too at Doobie Nights. It was great. Like there was really there were a lot of people there. DJs, fun. It was like felt alive again. You know, after that.
Yes.
So weird with the mask and the social distancing and the limited capacity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We should get into the Last Prisoner project and Farmer the Felon stuff, and we want to make sure we talk about the Senator certification too. So like, how's that going with Farmer the Felon and funding Last Prisoner, and what have they been up to?
I mean, it's a great the social justice aspect to the brand. It works really well with the brand. Dennis, spending 7 years in prison and all, and us kind of not sitting right with us, being able to be out here and sell weed on the open market, and while people are sitting in prison for big numbers for small amounts of weed. So that it just made perfect sense for us. That was just a no-brainer. Dennis being on the board with a bunch of other trailblazers and important people in the industry who are they're doing it. They're not just saying it. They're actually getting people out of jail. The Michael Thompson thing,
that's a big one.
dude got like I think it was like 30 years or something crazy, 60 years for
2 pounds, right?
2 or 3 pounds. Spent a good amount of his life in prison and recently got out, and like the cannabis community seems to be supporting him a lot. Like a car given to him. He's like got an apartment. Had his first birthday out of prison in 20 years. Kind of working as a brand ambassador, I think, for like an Oregon or Washington company. Like it's just cool to see, that people are actually not only getting out of prison, but then being supported when they do get out, by the community, not just by the Last Prisoner Project. So it's a great thing for the brand, and it's a great thing for the world, for cannabis, for reform and everything. So
Yeah. You can have a website, right? It's lastprisonerproject.com?
.org or .com?
.org. Yeah. We'll have to figure that and edit it out.
We need one of those guys that looks stuff up for us. Don't hit us with too many.
And yeah, we wanted to hit on the Senator certification and how that's working with a couple of the Farmer and the Felon flowers that are coming out. Bobby, you were talking about that, how you thought that was important, and we're talking about working in native soil and stuff like that too.
Yeah, the old way of farming is now the new way of farming, of just going directly in native soil. Our Lake County farms are literally just row cropping and throwing the plants in the ground, and they just go off. They love it, and it saves so much to not have to bring in all that soil, and just worked perfectly. It was a little dicey at first, saw this big open field that's full of rocks and dirt, and we're like, wait, we're gonna plant in here. And
Yeah.
The regenerative farming, and all that. I don't speak on it too much because I'm not really a part of the Sun and Earth program as much, but Ned is like a big part of it, and David Bronner and the whole Bronner's team has kind of like brought that, to the cannabis industry, and just hopefully more farms start taking it on, and really respecting the land in that way, and not just beating the soil down for profit. And so we think that's important. We want to support them, and some of the farms that are certified, obviously we want to bring them into the brand. So just like with the Wham and some of the farms that we did Mendocino Grasslands with Ian Powell, we're supporting brands that have founders who also spent time in prison. We look at them as trailblazers and taking hits for the greater good, and so we want to support those brands and be tied to them, and then be tied to us and kind of share in that. So that's where the whole collaboration comes together, is supporting those farms.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch the Cannacraft family grow. Like even from the beginning, people that I met 20 years ago when I first moved here, working with people in Mendo and whatnot, and Sonoma County, and seeing how many of them collaborated back together under Cannacraft, whether it was like right away or halfway through or later down just a few years ago. It's just a huge family. It's like it's super tight.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
that's the way we want it to be. And that's the way we want it to continue to be, you know. And as this industry grows, it gets harder and harder. You know, you get up to, you know, over a couple hundred employees, and, you know, you're bringing people in from other industries, which really, you know, is beneficial, you know, in a lot of ways. Everybody learns from each other, and yeah, it's you got to keep the family strong, you know. Otherwise, you do just end up becoming that corporate company. When we bring in the friends, you know, friends who are building other brands, or they're in a different side of the industry, whether it be cultivation or whatever, it just keeps that bond strong. But at the same time, you know, there's things that go on in that you know, it's business, and so kind of learning how to navigate that and make sure both sides are walk away happy is where our minds are at. And so we kind of make better choices now. You know, we're very honest with people, because you want to bring everybody around, you know.
We've known a lot of these people our whole lives.
Yeah.
Since we were kids, just growing up in Mendocino.
Yep.
And watching them all grow and flourish, we're like, oh, let's bring our crew together. But then, you know, everybody is their own entity, and people have their own visions, and so, yeah.
Right.
And the meat on the bone, as we all know, you know, from retail to every level, you know, and all the taxes and everything that comes along with it, it makes it difficult to do joint ventures with people.
There's a lot of strong-minded people too. These are people that have been through the trenches.
Yeah.
You know, and then it just kind of came out, you know, recently, or, you know, the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
So they're a strong-willed bunch. You get all those all in the same room together. I mean, we have fun, but it's fireworks.
Well, did you guys work together when you were younger?
We just grew up. I mean, we all worked there. We all would work together in that era. But yeah,
I also had the skate shop, you
Yeah.
know, that Bobby was a big part of, and you know, we had the gym. You know, we're both jiu-jitsu guys, so he was always supporting the gym and coming in and
his
training.
wife Val are in exact same grade, so we've known each other all through middle school, high school.
And I know you're still practicing jiu-jitsu now. Are you doing some too?
When I do roll, it's usually with highest level guys in the world, because when we're traveling, we're like, oh, let's go roll.
It'll go like 7 months off, and we're in with like people who are competitive, actual like trained
killers from like the UFC and Bellator, and we're just like, oh my god. But you know, we get our old asses out there, and we, you know, we hang. You know, I like to roll still, put it that way.
Good.
Yeah.
I was asking before what you thought about like the legalization of like other drugs, like in Colorado or like in Oregon and stuff like that. Like, how do you see that change the industry, or like how people shop and manage their recreational activities?
Are we
Things
talking
up and
about
psychedelics, like
psilocybin.
mushrooms, psilocybin, and stuff like that? Like,
big fan of plant medicines all the way around. I think it's important for the world. I think if more people would use these medicines instead of drugs for anxiety and depression and all these things, I think it would be a better world.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge opportunity to grow those businesses, legal businesses, and you know, just like with cannabis, how you know everything's measured and it's, you know, people know what they're getting. I think is going to keep a lot of people from being overdosed in those worlds and kind of like ease their way into it. We're big believers in ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I don't know, you can speak on mushrooms.
Yeah, I just think cannabis was almost a vehicle to kind of open people's minds, and you know, maybe the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors aren't always right, and so this kind of just set forth a little path, and now everybody's exploring all these different medicines and seeing their true benefits, and there's actual real clinical trials and testing going on, and so it's booming quick. It's like, whereas cannabis, I think, was more, you know, had the stigma of helicopters coming down and guns and hillbillies and things going on and street stuff, you know, so it was always kind of that, in that era it was like that, whereas I think with mushrooms it's already almost at this more enlightened space where the people that are getting involved are really about the medicine. It's not kind of a cash grab. So.
And that's what is evolving fastest, you think? Like mushrooms?
I think way faster.
Yeah,
and
mushrooms.
Ayahuasca is another one that's
more and more people are starting to, you know, I mean, it's like psychotherapy in a night or two. I always recommend do 2 nights in a row if you're going to go sit ceremony. Highly recommend finding, good people to sit with, making sure that the shamans and the people come from that deep history, and make sure your experience is done in a positive, good way.
And there's enough people around here like that, as a lot of people used to have to travel. But
Yeah, more and more people, I think, are coming around to the States, and you don't have to travel, and you can find it. I know there's a lot of them that are just some dudes that are like serving the medicine, which I don't necessarily agree with always. I'm sure there's some good ones, but I think it's important to keep the history and the tradition alive, and let the true shamans help guide your experience.
yeah,
we've become pretty involved with a group that kind of travels, and they put on ceremonies pretty frequently, and it's become this family. Even though they only see these people when you're sitting, it's just second you see them, it's big hugs. You feel like you've known them your whole lives. So it's like creating this little family of people that are really getting after it.
nice, good.
Yeah.
So what? Any other products, specials, things coming up, events that you want to let everybody know about while we're here?
Are we wrapping up?
Like 30 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, the event season is upon us, and it looks like things are opening up again. So, we're kind of like taking a different approach than we did in the past. I was always heading up the events and whatnot, and kind of early on, would, like I said, doing the sponsorships and whatnot, not trying to do too much negotiating per se, just like, okay, I want to support. If you're saying this is what it is, show me the value. And then sometimes there's value was there, and a lot of times not. And so then, we kind of work through it each time. And I think as this new era of events, cannabis events opens up, it's going to be, there's not, these big funds, and there's not big dollars for everybody to throw down these huge sponsorships. I think it's really going to tighten up a bit. And there's going to be a lot more smaller, more intimate events where people can actually like connect and have high level conversations, talk business. And we really need to move into a world, where buyers are coming into like a Hall of Flowers, where it's a B2B, which I hope it stays a B2B, by the way. I think kind of letting the public in is kind of tainting it a little bit. We need B2B trade shows, and we need the buyers to be on and like scheduling times, and our sales reps can be there, and then we have an allotted time instead of this like, oh, I'll stop by when I stop by, and it's kind of crazy, and oh, my rep's on break right now type of thing. I think things are going to like tune in a little bit better. Maybe we are incentivizing buyers to like hit all categories, and you get this discount, whatever, and we're pre-booking, and then we can kind of we need to be able to judge. We need to get our demand plans like in order, and be able to like run it like a true business and a true industry, instead of still just kind of being like, oh, this is great, isn't it? Like
Right.
It is great, but if we all want to succeed, we all need to tighten up and be profitable as a company.
Yeah, well, one thing that you guys are good at is getting your brand reps to the dispensaries to educate the bud tenders on all the products and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
staff trainings
try.
are a big part.
Yeah.
of it. Education's huge.
Yeah, it's great. It's all the bells and whistles, and PowerPoint presentations, handouts, leaflets, talks for hour at a time. Really, yeah, our bud tenders are really educated in all the products.
Cool. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, our sales team and our leadership in the sales team, they're really smart, really good people, and they work hard, and they care. And that's what we love, is like when we're out there, because we just get to be, we're just like the hype men sort of, we're like brand ambassadors. To be able to feel confident that we're talking about the brands and the people behind it, and not just having random sales reps out there that are part of like a sales group or whatever, repping all these different brands. These are actually people who are at our facility who are a part of the family and care about this company in a major way. So,
Right. But then you've been out with the sales reps down in Southern California.
Yeah, a
to the
lot,
dispensaries
especially in
and
the
stuff.
beginning when we were building the team. I learned a lot too. I didn't have any experience in traditional sales.
So how do they get the bud tenders excited about selling like the Cannacraft products? Like,
I mean, for a while we would go on. We would just stoke out the bud tenders. We'd pull up in the van, kind of swing by the shop, say what's up to everybody, and invite everybody out at night to a bar or restaurant, and just kind of pick up the tab, and not really on very salesy thing, but just kind of getting to know everybody and hanging out and just relaxing. because they're, probably the most important part
Yeah.
of the industry when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
They're touching the consumer. There's a lot of new consumers that go up and just ask them, they're like, what do I get?
Exactly.
So
Yeah, they've got a wealth of knowledge
Yeah.
for sure.
They're the most important part of our
Yeah.
industry. If people don't recognize that, they're
Yeah.
tripping. And it's crazy that you can just go and get a job and be a bud tender, and obviously to get hired by a good shop, they want to know that you have some knowledge, but we're still not there yet.
Right.
You don't have to be certified to be a bud tender, and that's a
Right.
shame.
Yeah, we're super lucky. We've got the best bud tender team. I think it's amazing. And it's taken a while to formulate, and but people always walk out feeling super educated. And right now, because we have such a large retail space at Doobie Nights, there's enough room, for people to walk around comfortably, talk with someone, hang out for a little while to get to know about what products there are before they buy it, instead of just like, pushing them this way. What do you want? Okay, let me know when your order's ready. So
Or just pushing them towards their friend's brand or their whatever brand, and maybe not what's necessarily good for the customer,
Yeah.
And so for you guys to have people that actually listen and try to give them the best options, that's huge. And that's not easy for everybody. You guys are in Northern California, you've been in the game a long time, you know the right people, you can kind of cherry pick some good people, but there's a lot of dispensaries out there, and places that didn't grow up where every single household had a garden in their backyard, like where we grew up, and so they're just being around it all the time. And a lot of these, anytime you get past here, it's pretty much like, people bought their weed off of whoever they knew, and there wasn't gardens that you could just see over people's fences, or you're driving through a country road and you just see a field. It's just different. And so I'd really like to see some kind of certification happen, and that also gives the bud tenders out there who are educated right now, puts them on a pedestal, so your pay grade and all these things should be tiered, based on your knowledge. And let's be honest, there's a lot of people going into the shops that are not there just to get a head change. They're there because they actually need it for their Crohn's disease or cancer, or their mom can't sleep, or name it, from high to low, the different things that reduce your quality of life. You need somebody there that's certified, that tells you what's up.
Yeah.
Please tell me what's up. I used to get so bummed. We had what was her name? The one doctor. She was, I can't remember her name right. Huh? Bonnie, yeah, Dr. Bonnie Goldstein. She was booked out for a year, It was everybody who was stage 4 or, real serious stuff going on. So the average person couldn't get to anybody who could actually tell them what was up, and every doctor doesn't know anything, and everybody who doesn't have the rights to do it, we can't make claims. So Care by Design had, all these amazing people there, but we had to watch our wording on every single thing and not be able to make claims that's actually going to give people the information that they need. So luckily, we always push people towards Project CBD, because that's a really awesome team that knows what they're talking about. All the information is vetted, so I always push people who want to go down a rabbit hole and learn about cannabis to go to that, because it's trusted. There's so much stuff out there on the internet right now that it's really hard to know.
It's unlimited. Yeah,
what
you gotta know where to look.
Where do I, you might read something, it looks very professional, but they're wrong, so.
And what was that again?
ProjectCBD.org. Yeah.
And then that Last Prisoner website was lastprisonerproject.org.
Yeah.
Right.
Lastprisonerproject.org.
Yeah, good look at. And then Cannacraft.com, and so many other websites underneath it too for all the different products.
Yeah.
Yeah, each brand has its own website.
Cool.
We're pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
Super easy to find.
Yeah.
That's right. And then what about in other states or countries? Any other projects? Any
We did some
history?
We did some R&D.
Yeah, some traveling. I mean, there was a moment when we were looking at the multi-state thing pretty seriously, and saw we're getting kind of spread thin. It's all about finding these partnerships in all these different states and cultivators, and then there was the market crash.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of refocused, and we're just if we can make a real dent here in California, kind of trying to get our best foot forward here, and it'd probably be easier to scale to all those other states. So we were just like really trying to win California, which has been pretty much our mission
Our
lately.
mission the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Quite a few years ago, even like 5, we were heading up to Oregon, and you know, while things were starting to open up, we were like, oh, we should take a look, and you know, kind of got down the road, you know, a little ways with some of it, but you know, at the end of the day, it was like, can we just focus? We got all these brands, we got all this stuff. The timing just wasn't right. Stuff was still a little crazy, and then, you know, we just honed in.
So what happens when they start to legalize it federally? Like, what's the move? What's the...
Can't tell you that.
I mean, it could be like anything else. You know, you get your wine from Napa, or you get your wine from Indiana. You know, I think Northern California is always gonna have a space in the market, and we can grow a shitload of weed up here. So,
Yeah, the best.
yeah,
I mean, it's not contested, is it? I mean, how...
yeah.
I would hate to think that it was.
We are
Yeah.
we are a bit biased.
Yeah.
We're from the heart. Of
We do
Mendocino
have
County. It's
we
like-
do have hi-fi in Colorado,
Yeah.
though. You know, with
and
our
Care by Design's over there too,
yep,
Yeah,
with the Keefe boys.
yeah, the
Yep.
Keefe boys.
that's right.
Those are the homies.
Yeah.
So we've done a little bit with them where it was like kind of easy and it was mutual. They come into California and so on, but for the most part, we're focused here. We're Cali for now.
Yeah, you guys are rocking it.
See where it goes.
Southern
partnerships have to
California,
make
we're
sense.
gonna come hard in Southern California.
Yeah.
Farmer and the Felon's really doing great down there. It's becoming a really popular brand. It's cool wearing a shirt and having 4 or 5 people be like, "Oh, dope shirt!" You know,
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really,
The orange shirt with black letters?
yeah.
We have the win for High Times a few months back as well for the best sun grown, and then we won the Emerald Cup as well for best sun grown with Farmer and the Fallon, you know. And then we got the Humboldt Terp Council guys that are on the squad now, just killing it. And
Yeah, super high level.
yeah,
How are they involved, or what are they?
they're part of Cannacraft now. Yeah.
What's their history, Humboldt Terp Council?
They're just OG dudes
OGs,
who've
yeah,
been at it for a long
20
time.
some year
Made
growers.
sense.
They've been doing a really good, you know, they source the best materials or grow their best materials. They're just a really high level when it comes to.
So it
resin,
made sense for our
rosin.
dabbable scheme,
Yeah.
you know, to bring in somebody like that, and you know, then bring us into their family and vice versa. So
Right.
it's
Right.
a good partnership there.
Building the team.
Yep.
Well, cool guys. Thanks. That's perfect.
Right on, Charlie.
You guys are rocking it.
That's all you want
to
from
see
us.
you,
I
man.
love it.
Yeah, this is short and
All
sweet.
right.
That's how we do it.
Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, we will.
Thanks to Doobie Nights for all you guys do, man.
Yeah,
That's
that place is
a
a
very
vibe.
unique, dope store.
sure.
Your staff is super cool, and
In the early days, we'd had some fun upstairs there.
yeah.